Hello everybody and welcome back to another vlog. It's been a while. It is February and yeah, it has been a while actually, and as you can see, I've cleared up the grass. This took quite a while. What actually happened is I just ended up raking it up into like a little bunch. Not a little bunch, it was quite a big bunch, and then I just had some farmers that, you know, have cows and stuff. They just pretty much gave it to them so they could pick it up, because obviously I can't really do much with it. So yeah, and you can also see there is no tractor anymore, and no baler, no mower, and we've gotten rid of it. Pretty much all of it. So we've gotten rid of the weeder, which was back here, and we are getting rid of most of this. This I think we're going to keep, because this works, and it's quite wide. So I'll explain everything to you in a second. And then these two, we've got a guy come in and look at this today. So yeah, very, very excited. As you can see, we've got $32,028 in the bank account, which today, it's a very exciting day. Today, we're going to go have a look at potentially buying some more and better equipment. So to catch you up, over the last couple of months, what I've been doing is getting the contracting company set up, which has been a lot more of a problem than I thought it would be. Or not a problem, just a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. To do everything legally, you know, to make sure everything is in order, all the paperwork's done, all of that stuff. I've had to do a couple of first aid course, and, you know, a couple of like small courses over weekends, just to make sure I've got all the qualifications to be able to actually employ people on what they apparently class as a potentially dangerous environment. So all of that's done, all the paperwork's done. We have essentially a contracting agency, and that is why we're going today to go have a look at some implements, basically. So Clever Motors have this week, they have a sale on some of their stuff. They're getting rid of, well, getting rid of, they're trying to get rid of some older stock. It's all new, none of it's secondhand, but it's all stuff that just hasn't sold, you know, like ex-display models and stuff that they just never sold. And they're making some space for some new stuff. Since it's at the start of the year, apparently this is where new tractors and new implements get released and get made and get sent out and all that. So yeah, they're getting rid, and therefore we have the opportunity to go have a look and maybe buying some for us, and some better equipment that we can use in the agency, pretty much. So I'm very excited. Whoa, it's icy. It is icy. It is very, very cold. Yeah, it is very cold, and it's been like this for quite a while now, actually. But it's alright. It's actually kind of pretty in its own way, you know. It heats up. Like if you're in the sun, it still heats up a little bit, but never enough to melt the ice, or it hasn't been enough to melt the snow, really. So it's yeah, contracting wise, obviously we'll see what happens, and we'll see how that goes. Currently there's not a lot going on in the area because of the weather. There's not a lot of farming being able to be done, you know what I mean. So it's all going a little bit slow in the farming world here. So as you can see, there's literally nothing on any of these fields. Nothing. I think everything probably died, but it is also, you know, most things have been planted fairly recently and will be springing up shortly. So, oh, there we go. Here's some tractors. So I have been around, but I wanted to make a vlog of it because I'm quite excited. I'm quite excited to have a look around and see what they've got to offer with you guys here. I have had a quick look, but, you know, so I have a rough idea of what the implements are, what they have, and yeah, so they filter it through. So today, for example, we've clearly got tractors, cultivators and trailers, and then other days they have seeders and planters and harvesters and, you know, all kinds of stuff. So because obviously they have to keep the main area clear. And then just, yeah, so there's been a couple of tractors that's already gone. This entire thing was full last time they had the tractors out, so obviously quite a lot gone. I'm gonna go off memory here. I think this one's got 175 horsepower. This one's got about 130, maybe 135. And I think this one's the same, 130, 132 or something like that. Not 100% sure. Obviously, out of these are quite big, actually, especially the 175. It's quite big, and it's got quite a lot of weights on the front. And at 175 horsepower, it's quite powerful. But then at the same time, this is pretty much, it's a new model, so upgrading things, repairing things, getting parts, for example, would be a lot easier, because if that breaks, I don't know if you could even get parts for this anymore. Like white farm equipment, they don't even exist anymore, so some parts you would be able to get, but yeah, I don't know if you could get all of it, you know, where obviously Massey Ferguson is still very much a thing, and I don't think you'd struggle finding parts for this. Fiat, similar to the White Farm, is like Fiat still exists, but as far as my knowledge goes, they don't really make tractors anymore. So you probably could get some of the parts, but it might be quite expensive to do that. So I'm inclined to get this one, even though it's the smaller one. I'm inclined to get that one. Also, I feel like the cabin would be a lot more comfortable. And the contracting work, even though we will be employing people on a contract basis, they will be doing most of the work for us. There will be times where I will be sat in the cabin, and if I can not be out in this freezing weather, then I think that's going to be the better option. So it's got the weights on, so let's have a quick look at the back here. So it's got everything that we need. This one's actually got a bit of a more interesting hitch situation. So it's got the two hitches. Does this one? Yeah, this one just has the bottom one. Interesting. I do like this. It means we've got a little bit more options. Well, what about this one? This one's got the same. Okay, so these two are fairly similar. I also think if the Fiat is better than the White Farm, even though they're both old, and even though the White Farm's got a bigger engine, I think the Fiat's a better option, but then I think the Massey is a better option than the Fiat. That's my opinion anyway. Well, I'm gonna walk around and meddle on that a little bit, and is that the right word? Think about that a little bit. The other thing is also, we've got a front hitch here, which none of the others do. So yeah, that's also another good option or good thing to have. And its lights are, either you could probably upgrade the lights to be, you know, LED, etc. But these lights would be a lot easier to upgrade. They're not LEDs currently, but you could do that. This one, oh, it does have mirrors. I was like, where the hell's the mirror? Okay, so it does have mirrors. I feel like these mirrors are slightly better, bigger mirrors, and better angled as well. So yeah, a lot of things that makes this one better, in my opinion. It's got a wiper at the back. That one doesn't. That one doesn't. Does it even have a wiper? This one's got a wiper at the front. That one does. Okay, both have wipers in the front. Thank goodness for that. So, but yeah, this one's got one. So in all sense, apart from the engine size, the Massey Ferguson's the better option, in my opinion. Anyway, right, let's go have a look at the cultivators. Now, I can't quite remember. Snow is settling quite hard. I can't quite remember the exact width. Off top of my head, I think this is 3 meters. This I think is 4x4 or 4.4, and this I think is 4.6 maybe. And I think this one's 6 meters, which is a good one. Like 6 meters is great. If we're gonna do cultivating jobs, like these two would be perfect for that. I'm kind of inclined to go for this one just because it's got the wheels that you can, you know, that one's got the wheels as well, but only when you're working with it, not when you're transporting. So even though we would have the weights, this could be quite heavy in it. Yeah, so I mean, both of them could be quite, I don't know. I'm kind of inclined to go for this one just because you can use the wheels while transporting. Actually, you could lift it up, put the wheels down, and then transport it that way. But I don't know, this one, it looks like comes from Europe. Interesting. Or at least it's got European certification sticker on it. Yeah, I don't know. This one, I'm not a fan of this. Even though it looks good, I'm not a fan of the pegs, because... yeah, it's just not... doesn't go as deep. It's... you might have to plow it more often. Which obviously for us, on our... like... it's not going to be mostly on our farm. But also, some of this will be used on our farm. So, I do want something that makes our lives a little bit easier. And these are just slightly better. This one's also a good option. It's just narrow. You know what I mean? But I do like the look of it. I do indeed like the look of it. Right, we're gonna have a look, have a think about that. Now, the capacities of these trailers, I cannot remember at all. Not even close. But just judging by eye, this green one's obviously the biggest capacity. I do like this one, the fact that it's a center fed. Center drop, or whatever you call it. And then I do like this one because it's got the cover over it. So, it's difficult. It will be this, I think trailer-wise will come down to the price. More than anything else, you know? I think so. Yeah. Right, I think I'm gonna go have a chat with Mike or whoever's on duty today and have a think. I'm definitely thinking going for the Massey, but if that's way overpriced and compared to the others, then I probably won't do that. And then probably the orange one, and then whichever's cheapest there of the trailers. Now we don't necessarily need to buy the trailer yet, because currently essentially what's going to happen is we'll buy these two. We can then do a seeding contract, because I've got the seeder, and we can do a cultivating contract. So 2 contracts, we can do that then. And then I'll have to come have a look maybe tomorrow, depending on when they put out the harvesters and stuff. I have nowhere near enough money for the harvesters. But maybe if we can get a couple of contracts done, you know, cultivating and seeding, then maybe we could figure something out with a harvester. Where am I going? So yeah, that's always an option. But yeah, I'm gonna go have a chat with Mike. I'll speak to you guys in a short while. All right, that is a big check, but it is done, and we've got pretty much all of it, and they moved it all for us over here, so everything is good to go in this sense. So we've got the Massey Ferguson. It's got 130 horsepower with a nice warm cabin, everything working quite well, and a 3-year guarantee on that because it's a fairly new one. And actually, they put in a 3-year guarantee on all bar the trailer, because the trailer's made of wood, which, to be honest, I didn't spot that. But it was fairly cheap. It was 6,350 off the top of my head. I think this was 4,400, 18,000, something like that. So, yeah, very, very good price, I think, for what we've got. And slowly but surely, we are going to start building a bit of a... I want to say an arsenal, but that is not the correct word. So what I'm going to do now, I think, is to hook up the truck to the trailer, move the trailer. I need feed, chicken feed. I think I've got enough. I'll just quickly check. I think I've got enough for maybe another week or 2. So maybe we can get a contract in before that, but let's head to home. Let's head home and see if we can park all of this stuff up somewhere. I definitely need to do something with this truck as well. It is hanging out. It is struggling quite a lot. So let me just open this thing so I can actually see where I'm going. Makes it just a little bit easier to navigate. That should be good. Right there. That should be good. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna take this home. And, yeah, we'll carry on from there. Take this home and then come and pick up the tractor and the cultivator. Problem is, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I might... Can I do the trailer? No, I don't think anything would fit on the low bed trailer. Oh, give me a second. I'm just pulling over. Hello? All right, so the guy wants to come have a look at the sprayer and the cultivator that we've got. Now, I was kind of considering keeping the sprayer because it's actually a pretty good piece of equipment, and then we could use that in contracting jobs for the agency, but for my agency, for our agency. But I also think that if we do that, because of the capacity, it's quite small, and especially when we're going to pay somebody. So let's say, for example, I've got a field I need to spray, right? If I have a sprayer that you only need to fill once, and it takes the worker 2 hours to fill it, or to spray the field, because it's easy, no refilling needed, or, you know, one refilling needed or whatever, then, you know, I pay that worker for 2 hours. If, for example, the job gets lengthened due to, one, the size of the implement, but also the capacity of the implement, so let's say he has to fill it 7 times instead of 1, and each one of those filling times, it's 10 minutes, you know, then you're looking at another extra hour at least that you're paying the person, not including the extra time it would take due to the size, the working width of that implement. So this is why, for example, we're buying better equipment. I could have done it with what we've got, but the problem will be that it takes too long. So my idea is essentially over time that we employ people to do most of the work for us, for me. Or at least I do most of the work at the time for the time being, and then, you know, when I have two jobs, for example, that needs to be done, then I can employ somebody to do the other one, or I can do I can employ somebody to do the one currently busy with, and then do the other one, something like that. And then pretty much hopefully get to a point where I only have to manage workers, really. I will definitely still be doing the work myself when I can, because I actually enjoy it. And obviously, if I don't have to pay somebody else to do it, then I will definitely do that, because it saves me money. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we get on with that. I am fairly confident that we will be making some money. There's like with the current weather, there's not going to be a lot of work going around in that sense, but it's fine. It's also why implements are fairly cheap right now, and obviously these are all like old X-Display and just old implements that, you know, they want to get rid of. So I'm getting them for fairly cheap. They do have quite a lot more, but not today. They don't put it out today, like I've discussed, like I've explained to you. So, wow, this is this snow has packed down since we were here last. The truck is it's doing quite well, but it is struggling a little bit. Yeah, this is quite mad. There's a lot of snow here all of a sudden. Right, we're gonna try and reverse this butte in here. Okay, maybe we're not. Actually, this should be fine, to be fair. Yeah, this is fine. Alright. Oh man, it's cold. I feel like the temperature's dropped significantly recently. Alright, I'm going to go inside. Make sure I light the fire, because I need the cabin to get warm. And then I'll have the person come and look at some point. He said he's on his way, so he'll be here looking at these two. And yeah, let me just get in here. It is freezing. Ooh, man alive, it is cold. Right, I'm gonna get the stove on or something just to get it slightly warmer in here. I do have some heaters, but I try and keep them not on, because it costs quite a lot of electricity. Anyway, I'm gonna wait for this dude to show up, and then once he's here, or once he's been here, and hopefully taking both of those implements, we'll move on. Alright, didn't get much for that. The 1,808. It was 700, just over 700 for the cultivator, and the sprayer was just over 1,000. So, I mean, I wanted 1,500-ish for the sprayer and 1,000 for the cultivator, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Oh, that's the wrong door. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. We'll make it work. you know. Oh, and yeah, it did stop snowing for a while, and in that time, because the temperature rose significantly, it actually cleared up a little bit, which is great. It's crazy how quick this happens. But it started snowing again, so to be honest, I'm half expecting it to lay down a lot. Actually, oh, let me just have a look. I think I've got enough for about another week in here. Let me just check. Ooh, very little. Maybe a couple of days. Yeah, maybe a couple of days. All right. I do need to strongly consider getting some more chicken feed then. Which is not ideal. But okay, that's fine. So, still don't know what I'm going to do here. What I might do is park the truck over at Jack's and then either just walk that extra distance or run that extra distance to Clever Motors and then walk back to Jack's to get the truck. His wife does drive past my place pretty much every day, ferrying the kids to and from like not school but the clubs, I guess is what you call it, you know, after school events, extracurricular activities. So I could potentially get a lift from her back to Jack's and then get the truck from there so that I don't have to walk all the way from our place to Jack's, because it's quite a distance. It's not too far from Jack to the dealership, but yeah, the other way around from our place to Jack's is quite far. So let's try and avoid that as much as we can. Oh man, it is going to be cold. It's going to be a cold walk. I do have my jacket on, but yeah, still going to be a very cold walk. And yeah, nothing seems to be happening here, but this is just the case everywhere now. It's all very, very cold and miserable, really. I'm gonna park the truck under here, to be honest, just so the truck can warm up a little bit. To be fair, it actually handles the cold quite well. It starts really easy, you know, even when it is freezing cold. All right. I'm gonna walk to the dealership and I'll see you guys when I get when I'm there, pretty much. When I'm there, I'll see you guys. All right, just coming up to the dealership now, and yeah, we're gonna pretty much just get straight into the tractor. I've got the keys. He gave me the keys earlier when we paid for it, so all is good to go. Literally just a case of getting in. Oh wow, it is nice in here. To be fair, there's a reason why I went for this one. It is significantly newer inside, and it sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Everything works really well. I didn't give the others a go. I didn't give this one a go beforehand either, but with a 3-year warranty and, you know, a fairly newish model tractor, this was the obvious choice. All right, can I get in there? All right. That was a bit more... Oh! That's not ideal. Okay. Well, I need more weights on this thing then. I think I should be able to get more weights. Oh. Alright, I have to go over there and I'll ask the guys if we can get more weights on this. We should be able to get more weights on it, hopefully. It doesn't currently have a lot on there. So we'll see. We'll see what we can get. Alright, well, I know what you guys are thinking. So essentially, what happened is that there is no more, you can't fit any more weights on there. So I then went to speak to Mike and ask him if there's any way we can maybe trade. Since I haven't actually driven it off the premises, they were like, yeah, sure, absolutely no problem at all. They will give me $2 grand back. So they only wanted 16 for this one, which, to be honest, I feel like is a bargain. It struggles a little bit. I mean, it's been running for a while now, so it might be fine, but... Oh, yeah. So as you can see, it struggles a little bit, but it should be alright. I think it should be good. It has been upgraded in its, you know, from its original state, but yeah. Anyway, right, and it obviously lifts and pulls this thing easy. Oh, no, stop, stop. Alright. Yeah, okay, cool. So it lifts and pulls this thing quite easy, and it's actually pretty fast, to be fair. So I am, and it, to be honest, even though it's not got any heating inside or any like specific like thick glass or so like the newer tractors tend to potentially sometimes have like a small, like almost double glazing. So, and this doesn't have any of that. It is actually quite warm in here. I think it's because of the engine actually heats it up, I think. I'm not sure. And it's obviously not the fastest tractor, but I mean, it runs really smooth. I'm actually quite happy with it. It's not the one we wanted. But it does have more horsepower, so it does mean that we can pull a lot more. And it can also obviously lift the cultivator that we you know, bought. We could have gone and said, yeah, okay, actually we don't want the cultivator, but the problem with that would have been that we can't actually do any contract work then, which is probably not the best idea. So we've got an older tractor, a new tractor, but an older model, as in this was never used. It was never on a farm. It's always belonged to Clever Motors. But it, you know, it's been in their, I don't know, again I want to say arsenal, that's not the word. It's been in their possession since the initial creation, and you know, they've just never sold it because it's kind of like an heirloom sort of situation. Or like a, not heirloom, heirloom is like when your parents leave you something. Vintage? Something like that. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. So yeah, it is a pretty nice tractor. It is a fairly comfortable seat. Its controls are obviously very simple, and it does have these panels, the upgraded versions essentially. It doesn't actually have GPS, even though the monitor says that. It can have it. So that would have been, I guess, when you would have bought it, that would have been, you know, a very expensive edition, where this one just doesn't have it. Oh, it does have heating. Oh, that's maybe why it is so warm. Oh, great. Okay, that makes sense now. Okay, because, yeah, I thought it was the engine heating it, but to be fair, the engine's temperature is not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad, so yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Ay caramba. Alright, for the rest of the day, there's not much. We've done everything we needed to. We've sold all we wanted. We've bought everything we wanted. I need to follow up on Clever Motors on Mike to actually give us back the $2,000, and yeah, then we'll see then. Start looking at contracts, start advertising, actually, probably more like, rather than just looking at contracts. So this will definitely have to be a bit more of a neater yard, and we'll work on that. We'll get it all sorted. Still learning, so changing gears and stuff takes a little bit longer than I wanted to. Come on, there we go. And it is actually quite not sensitive. How do I say this? I have to push quite hard on the pedals because there's no power steering on this, unfortunately. Come on, there you go. It's quite difficult to get in there, so yeah, right. And tractor, I think I'm just gonna, oh, yeah, see what I mean? Like it runs beautifully once it runs, but it does struggle a little bit to start up. All right, I actually kind of want to put this close to the house, but I don't want to put it that angled, so we'll just put it here for now. All right, slowly but surely, our implement collection is growing. Now we don't have a lot of money now, but we'll get some jobs done. So, ooh, no, I left that open. That's gonna be so cold now. At least the heating's on, so it wouldn't be totally freezing, but yeah, that's not ideal. Right, so we do have the seeder. We've got a trailer, we've got the cultivator, and a fairly strong tractor with 175 horsepower. We do have this trailer, and to be honest, I will probably keep it. I don't know. The man with the van stuff, I've kind of, I don't want to say given up on that. I've been doing from time to time, but with how much I get paid and how long it takes, it's not really worth it. Like I get paid very small amounts because you can't charge a person $200 for picking up a bike, you know what I mean? Or $2,000 for moving a couple of boxes from point A to point B. So you're very limited in how much you can charge unless you have much bigger equipment. Like if I had a liquid trailer, I could probably charge a couple of grand to move a, you know, 6,000 liters of milk. I don't know. I don't think so, but yeah, the man with the van have kind of fallen to the wayside to a degree. I've still got my flyers up. I still do that from time to time, but that's not at all my priority. Just because I don't feel like we'll be able to create sustainable income with that. That's good for keeping me alive, you know, paying for the stuff around the house, so like the food, the fruit, the electricity, stuff like that. That's mostly what I use that for. But that's not going to get our farm anywhere, in my opinion. So that's not my focus. I mean, this looks cool. I like this. All right. That's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And for commenting. If you don't have anything to say, just say hi. And I'll get back to you. Have a good one. See ya.